which SEC versus Big Ten matchup will reignite the debate over which is a more dominant conference. So in this discussion, obviously, I think we talked about this a little bit previously as well. The Florida-Michigan matchup that's supposed to be going down in Arlington this upcoming year. Mm-hmm. That's the big game, the big matchup for the SEC and Big Ten, and certainly, I think a game that won't necessarily make or break Florida in terms of their SEC dominance, but I think it's certainly going to be a good way to kind of set the tone for the season for that team.
Yeah, I think it will for both teams. I think they're both programs that are still trying to get to that next level of credibility nationally. Mm-hmm. I think still as much as they've accomplished the last couple of years, Florida and Michigan still both feel a little bit slighted, like they're not quite given the credit that they should be given. And winning a game like that would be a huge boost to the winner of that game, obviously. I think it will sort of take them to the next level as far as believing in them as a playoff contender. The other games, I think certainly that's the Big Ten SEC matchup, I think, to start the season that you want to pay attention to. But there's a couple of SEC, ACC matchups that are obviously a really big deal and will have a lot of attention paid to them. Alabama plays Florida State in the opener, and then you've got in week 2 Auburn playing Clemson on the road. Mm-hmm. Those are huge games, I think, for all the teams involved. But I think the Auburn-Clemson game probably is more impactful to the two teams involved, because I think there's a lot of questions about Clemson coming back with a new quarterback after last season. Mm-hmm. Can they keep things rolling with having to start over at quarterback? And then for Auburn, obviously, there's so much hype coming into this season. Winning that game would justify, I think, all the hype. So it's a huge game for those two teams especially. And then really another one, Tennessee weirdly playing Georgia Tech opening weekend. I think that's a game that I'm not sure Tennessee can afford to lose.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we've seen that these games coming into the season, these 1 versus 2, these big matchups, these top 10 matchups are really beneficial for both teams. And I think, again, kind of setting the tone and giving them an opportunity to kind of get those bigger games out of the way before they get into conference play.
Yep.
Next.